Oh, would you look at that? It appears to be an individual dollar bill sitting on top of a very unassuming rock band drum pad. I wonder if I could. I'm just gonna reach in there and. What was that? Interesting. So yes, this is in fact a rock band drum pad, and through some weird electromagnetic voodoo witchcraft, it is now a proximity sensor. Now I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, is it really a proximity sensor, or is it still just a pressure sensor that's picking up on minute little fluctuations in air? Well, it's a proximity sensor. So if you come creeping up from the side here, you get close enough. I assure you, any air currents that I am making are negligible in scope. Down here, the closer your hand gets to the sensor, the values actually rise up. So the code for this little setup is actually relatively simple. I basically just built it up around the weird anomalous behavior that this sensor exhibits. It is, of course, picked up by the Arduino microcontroller up into processing here, which is interesting. The whole ordeal would have taken me like maybe 45 minutes if my demo for Cycling 74 Maximus P hadn't expired. That threw a little hiccup in things because I was forced to use processing, which relies heavily on JavaScript, which I do not fully understand. I did understand enough to know that processing does not have sound quote-unquote built in. I had to go and use this little whoozamajigger called Minim. You just import the Minim thing and tie it up into your code, and you use it to load audio files into your processing sketch. In here in load file whoop.mp3. The sound file is loaded in. All that was really needed to do was to put in basically an if-then function to act as a threshold, so that whenever the values hit a certain level, it will cause the sound file to play. And also throw in this fancy pants red screen that acts as a little visual alarm for whenever your dollar is about to be stolen by unscrupulous ruffians such as myself. That kind of unnerves me about this little setup I got going on here is that it seems that any object, regardless of material or conductivity or anything, seems to set this thing off. And my money was on some sort of electromagnetic disruptance nonsense. But hey, I mean, I'm no scientist. I don't really pretend to understand how this stuff works. Fun little tidbit about this sensor here is, no matter what style of burglar you may be, if you're maybe the whole smash and grab, quick and dirty type, if you're the slow and meticulous mastermind who waits for decades, biding his time for the right time to slip in and make off with the crown jewels. Once you remove it, the code is written in such a way that it will cross that threshold and set the alarm off regardless. Even if you had a man on the inside, perfectly poised, waiting for years to steal this dollar bill, couldn't do it without setting off the alarm. You can always just grab the dollar and run. My code's nothing special. It's really the sensor that gives this rig its flavor. But would have liked to maybe put some LEDs into the Arduino so that when processing realizes that that threshold's been crossed, it sends a signal to the microcontroller to light up the LEDs. But all my LEDs were tragically lost in a wiring incident involving a foam robot eye I tried to make for my New Media 100 screencast video. I don't want to make any excuses, but I definitely could have pushed this further, but I'm happy with it. It's a thing that does a thing with an Arduino, which it was supposed to. Damn it.